Hey guys, this is Sairaj from Wani, and you're listening to our interview with Bjorn Strid, frontman of legendary melodic death metalers Soilwork. How are you doing, Bjorn?
I'm doing very fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for talking to us, Bjorn.
Oh, no
Now,
problem. Thank you.
great. Now, let's start off with your live DVD. In fact, the band's first ever live DVD, live in the heart of Helsinki. Now, what finally made you decide to produce one at this point in your career?
Well, I mean, good question. I mean, there's been talks about it before and plans that never really went through.
Hmm?
But I'm kind of glad we waited or that it didn't really happen in the past. So now that, especially that we have the Living Infinite, the double album out as well, because I
Right.
really think that that album should be in there as well among the songs in the set list. So I'm glad
Hmm?
we waited, and I feel we've grown a lot as a live band. So if we're
Hmm?
gonna release a DVD, it should be now. And I just want to apologize for the long wait.
No, it's better late than never, I tell you that.
True.
Now, I want to ask, what made you choose, the Circus Club in Helsinki in particular for this DVD? Was there anything that was really special or unique about that gig compared to all your other tours?
Well, I mean, we've been discussing about where to record a DVD, and there's been other options before, but we had a Finnish promoter reaching out about it, and we felt that it was the perfect spot to do it. Circus is
Right,
a really cool club, and plus that we've had a very loyal fan base through the years in Finland, and I think they picked up at a very early stage in our career. And we've done loads of like big festivals there, and there's
right.
always pretty packed houses when we come to Finland. So I think it was a pretty natural choice for us.
Right, right. And I saw a little bit of the Living Infinite, and you also had guest appearances from Nightwish's Floor Jansen and Nathan Biggs from Sonic Syndicate. So I bet it must have been a real treat for you jamming with those guys.
Absolutely. First time I talked to Floor Jansen was a couple of years ago when she reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to do guest vocals for the first revamp album,
Right.
and she also expressed that she was a big fan of my voice, which was a great honor because I do admire her a lot as a singer as well. And
Right.
I guess I just wanted to return the favor and have her do a song with us live on stage, and I think
Sweet.
it was perfect to get it on tape as well. It was a pretty natural choice. We just had to find the perfect song, that we could do together, and I think "Let This River Flow" was the perfect choice, really, in the end. So I'm sure people will be really thrilled and impressed when they see the actual DVD or Blu-ray. So that's cool. And Nathan, I've known for quite some time. I met him the first time in Manchester.
Right.
I think it was 2006, 2007, when he reached out to me via email asking me if I could do some vocal coaching with him, and I got really impressed by him. He had some really, really nice pipes already, even though he'd only been singing for a couple of years. And so I was really impressed, and I was happy to see that down the line he joined Sonic Syndicate later on
Right.
as a singer and moved to Sweden, and we've kept in touch since then. And I consider him a good friend of mine, so it was a pretty natural choice as well. And we decided to pick Black Star Deceiver, which has, it's kind of suitable because it has like trade-off vocals that I did with Devin Townsend back
Right.
on Natural Born Chaos. So yeah.
Right, right, right. And there was also your performance with Sonic Syndicate on Before You Finally Break on their new album, which I really loved, by the way.
Yeah. It's a cool band. Really, really cool people too in that band. So I enjoyed being part of their video as well, for sure.
Great, great. Now, let's backtrack a bit to the Living Infinite. Now, I've got to ask you, even though it was such a big double album, you actually had material left over for another EP that was Beyond
Yeah,
the Infinite. So
yeah, yeah.
how on earth did you have so much song material piling up in the band before you made the album?
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. I mean, it's we did record a total of 27 songs when we entered the studio,
Yeah.
so that's pretty crazy. And it went like surprisingly smooth when we recorded all those songs. We did it all like including mix in like 2 or 2.5 months. So I guess we would just try to pick the songs that would fit like the double album, and it needed to be a feel where you're being taken on a journey. It needed to have the right dynamics in there. And then we had those extra songs, that are still really great songs. So we decided to put them out, as an EP. Why not? So, yeah.
Right, cool. And I've got to tell you, when I listened to the Living Infinite, I felt that it was the perfect reconciliation between your older material way back in the 90s and your newer material now. And I think it summed up everything you guys have done throughout your career. So would you agree with us on that?
Absolutely. That's really how I feel as well. It's just, including everything, all the trademarks, through the years that we've had, and it's summing up the career real good. So it's a really good, if you haven't heard Soilwork yet, it is a very good album to start with, to get introduced to our music, I feel.
Exactly. And, this year in 2015, Soilwork is actually going to finish 20 years of existence. So do you have any feelings of surprise or, maybe nostalgia or any other feelings about this right now?
Well, you know what, to tell you the truth, it was actually, I just recently did an interview, and it was actually the journalist that reminded me. So, it's 20 years. Like, oh, yeah, I guess you're right. So we haven't really planned anything. I guess the release of the DVD is definitely a celebration in itself. It's been a long time coming, and it's really sort of a manifest, if you will, with including songs from each and every album. So I think that alone is some kind of celebration. But you're right, we should do something special. So we'll try to work on that.
Great. And you just recently also revealed some new music in a video with Dirk, and I'm kind of excited about what I actually heard from that. So can you tell us how this new material is sounding to you guys right now?
Well, I feel it's pretty fast-paced. Yeah, music, it's pretty intense, even more intense, I feel, than Living Infinite. So it might be a little bit more brutal in a sense, even though that's kind of a stupid word to use. But it's pretty intense. We're definitely not slowing down, and I guess it is also a development from the Living Infinite, just slightly faster in a sense. It's kind of hard to, because when we made a double album, there's loads of room for more dynamics, and you can make a passage, having sort of a more mellow song in there as well. It was easier to do it that way, and I don't know. We've just been developing our sound, and it turned out to be pretty fast paced and pretty technical, but yet pretty melodic and also atmospheric. But it's definitely very intense.
Right. And I'm really glad to hear that, because, some of your contemporaries like In Flames or Dark Tranquility, they're at this point in their career where they want to experiment with new sounds instead of, going all the way brutal and all the way fast again. So, how do you feel about that comparison?
Well, I guess you're right about that. There's a lot of bands coming from the same, the same genre as us, and also from the Scandinavian scene that has been changing their sound, and that's really up to each and every band. And I think they've been doing great. For example, In Flames, I did see them live in Toronto a month ago, and I was really impressed how the album went over live. I think it was a different experience, and it sounded pretty cool, and I mean, we're not just because we're doing more fast-paced and that we're not slowing down doesn't, mean that we're doing that as a conscious decision. Let's stick with this. Just because everybody else is slowing down, let's make, brutal music again or whatever. It's not really our intention. It's more what we want to do, right now. And by saying that it's fast-paced and brutal again, like the old days, in a sense, it doesn't mean that it's all nostalgic. It's also a development. Even though it's brutal and fast, it's in a different way nowadays. I feel it's more interesting, and we've grown as songwriters as well. But it's what we want to do. So.
Yeah, right. Because some of the fans have this misconception that suppose a band has just released a new album and then they want to make another one that they think to themselves, where do we go from here? How do we consciously make this album different from the last one? You know?
Yeah.
And so I guess this process was really natural to you, like how every musical process is when you're making the new album. Am I right?
Yeah, for sure. We never really discuss what we're gonna do. It's like, so how should the new album sound? We never ever discuss it like that. We just like, okay, so how do you feel about songwriting? Do you feel inspired? It's like, yeah. So maybe we should start thinking about recording a new album. Okay, all right.
Right.
We start writing songs, and it just happens, in that sense, I guess. So it's interesting that the spark is there still, and that we really feel that it's interesting.
Great, great. And given how awesome The Living Infinite was, do you still get any of these, mixed responses from the fans about how much your sound has changed over the years, especially online where people get to talk all the shit they want, do you still get that?
Well, it happens, but after we released Living Infinite, I haven't heard one single thing, actually.
Wow.
At least not about, like, people usually don't whine about, like, oh, you guys sound so brutal, where's all the melodies, You never really get that. It's usually the other way around. But I haven't heard much. But it does happen, but it doesn't happen very often.
Right. Because I've got to tell you, from what I saw, this kind of thing actually happened more with the In Flames album, and I find it really funny, And I was just wondering whether you guys ever faced that with Stabbing the Drama or any of the other albums.
Oh yeah, for sure, we got it a lot, but that's where we were at that time, and we never really got. Of course, you get bothered at times, but we never really let it get to us in that sense, And I guess it's in a sense it's good that they can't really compare Soilwork to In Flames anymore, which we've always heard in each and every interview since we started this band, we never really understood why. I mean, there were times where we're sounding pretty similar, but it's always been different to me. So in a sense, I guess it's nice that they're really found their thing, and it sounds very different from what we do. So it's that's cool.
Yeah, and speaking about this comparison, one thing I really loved was this music video concept which you actually did with In Flames back in 2003, where the In Flames guys are abusing you and pestering you in the video for Rejection Roll, and then you do the same thing to them in Trigger. So I guess that concept really came from that, didn't it?
I guess it did, yeah. It got even worse after that, so no doubt, yeah.
I know, because it was such a unique concept to me. It really showed like two bands really making a joke out of this sort of thing that was actually created by the media and the press.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, that was the initial idea of it, and I think it turned out really cool. It's just the fact that the Flames video got shown probably twice as much as the Soilwork video, so the whole concept kind of disappeared after a while. That people's like, oh, what is this? Do they hate In Flames or whatever? It's like, well, you need to watch the other video as well.
Great. Now, let me ask you, what are the immediate plans for Soilwork right now? Are you just going to finish the album, or are there any more tours coming up for you guys?
We have 3 shows coming up in late April, beginning of May. We're doing Stockholm, Sweden, Kungshamn, Sweden, and also Oslo in Norway. And that's about it for now. I guess those shows will kind of celebrate the release of the DVD, and then we have a new management who's looking into touring right now, and I don't think the new album is going to be released until after the summer. So I'm sure there will be a lot of tours lined up, and I'm sure people will hear about them before the summer even. So yeah.
So I guess these tours will be sort of a teaser for what the fans can expect from the live DVD, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Great. And speaking about touring, let me personally tell you that India is becoming a hotspot for international bands, especially those from Europe, to perform and grow their fan bases. So have you got any offers to play in India sometime?
We've had offers before, but I guess he was colliding with something else, like a full tour probably. And but it's definitely one of those places I would like to explore one of those days. So yeah, I'm sure we'll get offers again, and hopefully it will happen. It would be cool.
Yeah, great, great. Because let me tell you one thing. You have a lot of fans here. Personally, I tell you that, and I personally have got an original Soilwork T-shirt hanging in my cupboard, just waiting to be let out for a gig. So
Okay,
I really hope you guys come for that. I'll probably wave that shirt in the air if you guys ever come.
very nice. We'll work on it.
Great, great. Now, finally, for all of your fans listening to this, can you sum up your live DVD in one sentence? Tell them what to expect?
Wow, that's a tough one. Um, let's see. Let me think.
Yeah, no problem.
A manifest of melodic mayhem.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, further testament of your lyrical abilities, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Cool.
Now, thanks a lot for talking to us, Bjorn. Thanks a lot for spending your time with Metal Wani.
Thank you. Thank you. It was really nice talking to you.